Welcome back to Sapiens Rise. You have survived the 48-hour primal reset. You have emerged from the dopamine blackout with a mind that is finally quiet. And you have built the architecture of discipline around this new clarity. But now we must sharpen the weapon. We are entering the fourth stage of the Phoenix Protocol, which is known as the Reticular Activating System blueprint. The truth is, you do not see the world as it is. You see the world as your brain allows you to see it. Deep within your brainstem lies a small but incredibly powerful network of neurons known as the Reticular Activating System, or the RAS. This is the ultimate gatekeeper of your reality. Every single second, your five senses are bombarded with millions of bits of data. Sounds, colors, smells, advertisements, and background noise are constantly hitting your nervous system. If your brain tried to process all of this information simultaneously, your entire biological system would crash in seconds. This is why the RAS exists. It acts as a sophisticated biological filter, a neural spam filter that decides which information reaches your conscious mind and which information is discarded as useless garbage. Your RAS is the reason why you can sleep through a loud siren on the street, but wake up instantly to the sound of your own baby crying in the next room. It is the reason why you can find your friend's face in a crowd of thousands of strangers. It is a heat-seeking missile for what it deems as significant to your survival. The problem is that for most people, their RAS is programmed by default. It is programmed by their fears, their insecurities, and the endless noise of the digital matrix. If you are constantly focused on why life is hard, or why you are always tired, or why the economy is failing, you are effectively giving your RAS a formal search order to find every piece of evidence that supports those negative beliefs. You become biologically blind to opportunity because your gatekeeper has labeled progress as irrelevant data. You must realize that your environment is either a cage that keeps you small or a cockpit that helps you fly. Most people are trapped in a cycle of cognitive blindness where they claim they want success, but their internal programming is focused entirely on survival and comfort. Because the neural filter is tuned to low-value data, they miss the million-dollar ideas and high-level connections that are staring them right in the face. The Sapien understands that focus is not about trying harder, but it is about filtering better. You are currently in the crucible of transformation, and you must not flinch. The modern world is an ocean of distraction designed to keep you weak, addicted, and profitable for corporations. Trillion-dollar industries are fighting for every single second of your attention. They know how to hijack your RAS using short-form content, toxic clickbait, and endless notification pings. When you allow your filter to be controlled by these external forces, you lose your internal sovereignty. You become a ghost in your own life, moving reactively from one distraction to the next until you are exhausted. The Phoenix Protocol is about taking the keys back from the matrix. It is about deciding, once and for all, exactly what is allowed to enter your neural sanctuary. You must treat your attention as your most precious biological resource, because if you do not control your filter, someone else will. To rebuild your blueprint, we must implement the target lock protocol. Your RAS needs a precise and uncompromising command. Vague goals like wanting to be successful are too blurry for the neural gatekeeper. It needs high-definition data to function correctly. You must define your targets with the lethal precision of a sniper. What is the exact skill you are mastering today? What is the specific problem you are solving in your business or your life? What is the exact amount of value you are creating for the world right now? When you define these targets with absolute clarity and review them daily, you are hardwiring these specific targets into your neural network. You are telling your brain that this is the only thing that matters and everything else is just meaningless noise. Once the target lock is set, your brain begins a process called automated scanning. Even when you are not consciously thinking about your goal, your RAS is working in the background, scanning every conversation, every book, and every video for anything that matches your specific target lock. This is how you begin to see luck everywhere. You aren't actually getting luckier, you are simply finally seeing the opportunities that were always right there in front of you. Your transformation is a biological necessity, and evolution does not favor the distracted, it only favors the focused. By sticking to this protocol, you are essentially accelerating your own evolution. You are moving away from the impulsive primate and towards the sovereign sapien. Hold the line and do not look back at the person you used to be. Next comes the critical process of cognitive priming, which is the second pillar of your new neural blueprint. Your reticular activating system is most vulnerable and most receptive during two very specific windows of time every single day. These windows occur during the first 20 minutes after you wake up and the last 20 minutes before you fall asleep at night. During these periods, your brain is operating in the alpha and theta brainwave states, where the doorway to your subconscious mind is wide open and the critical filters of your conscious ego are relaxed. Most people in the modern world waste these sacred windows by immediately reaching for their phones and scrolling through social media or reading negative news. When you do this, you are effectively telling your gatekeeper that digital noise, comparison, and outrage are your top priorities for the entire day. You are priming your brain to seek out distractions and stress before you've even gotten out of bed. A sapien treats these windows as a tactical opportunity to program the mission. In the morning, you must feed your RAS the high-definition data of your goals. Visualize the execution of your tasks, feel the pressure of the work you are about to do, and state your non-negotiables clearly to yourself. In the evening, do not fall asleep to a glowing screen that floods your system with blue light and artificial dopamine. Instead, review your small victories for the day and set the formal search order for your brain to process while you are deep in sleep. This is how you stabilize the new mind and ensure that your transformation is not just a temporary feeling, but a biological reality. We must also implement the noise cancellation protocol immediately. Your RAS is like a high-performance engine, and if you feed it low-quality fuel in the form of junk information, it will eventually stall and fail you. Every single notification ping, every trending topic that doesn't matter, and every short-form video you watch is a tactical strike against your ability to focus. If you allow your gatekeeper to be constantly triggered by these low-value stimuli, it becomes desensitized and loses its precision. This is why silence is a non-negotiable part of the Phoenix Protocol. Silence is not just the absence of noise, but it is the absence of external inputs that attempt to hijack your attention. Silence allows your RAS to recalibrate and reset itself so that you can clearly distinguish between busy work that leads nowhere and leverage work that moves the needle of your life. When you sit in silence, the neural noise of the world begins to settle, and your internal priorities rise to the surface of your consciousness. You are reclaiming your cognitive sovereignty and telling the world that they do not own your attention, but you do. Furthermore, understand that your reticular activating system creates a powerful neural feedback loop with your prefrontal cortex. Every time you successfully identify a high-leverage opportunity because of your new filter, your brain releases a burst of victory dopamine. This chemical reward signals your RAS to double down on your current search orders and strengthens the neural pathways associated with your goals. But there is a danger in this biological process if you do not act. If your filter highlights an opportunity and you hesitate because of fear or laziness, your brain will eventually label that opportunity as a low priority for the future. In our protocol, the gap between detection and execution must be absolute zero. When your brain shows you the path, you must take the first step without negotiation. This is how you build the habit of lethal decisiveness. You are training your nervous system to respond to opportunities with immediate and overwhelming action. We must also address the social architecture of your environment, because your RAS is subconsciously tuned to the frequencies of the people around you. If your inner circle is addicted to the digital matrix and cheap pleasure, their behavior acts as a signal jammer for your own focus. You must be willing to engage in radical social selective attention to protect your neural integrity. This is not about being cold or arrogant, but it is about being protective of the new mind you are building. Tune your filter to the frequency of high performers, mentors, and masters, and your RAS will naturally begin to mimic their advanced filtration systems. True focus is about subtracting every single thing that is not the mission until only the essential truth remains. Every single Sunday, you should perform a neural recalibration by spending 30 minutes in total silence and darkness. Ask yourself if your filter is still tuned to your primary target lock, or if the digital noise of the week has started to creep back into your machine. This period of silence acts as a factory reset for your gatekeeper and allows your goals to shine through with absolute clarity once again. As you stick to this blueprint day after day, you are building what we call the biology of momentum. You are building myelin, which is the fatty insulation that allows electrical signals to travel faster through your brain. Over time, this deep focus becomes your default setting, and you no longer have to force yourself to work. Your brain actually begins to crave the high leverage state because it is now primed for the dopamine of achievement rather than the empty dopamine of consumption. You are moving away from the impulsive and reactive primate, and you are becoming the sovereign sapien. You are the architect of your destiny, the sniper of your goals, and the master of your own attention. This is the ultimate weaponization of your mind against a world that wants to keep you distracted. Every micro decision to ignore a distraction is a massive victory for your new identity. In our final sessions, we will turn this concentrated focus into tangible results through the execution engine. You are currently in the crucible of transformation, so do not flinch, and do not look back at the person you used to be. That version of you is dying so that the person you can become can finally live. Hold the line, protect your gatekeeper, stay grounded, stay primal, and rise. Welcome to the fourth stage of your evolution.